All right. Hi, Karen. How are you?
Hi, Kim. I'm doing well, thanks.
Good. I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you very much. And what we're going to be talking about on this video is Karen's journey and us working together one-to-one in my 3-month Forever Love Formula program. And she's going to share the journey that she's been on and how she ended up finding love in 3 to 4 months. So it's really exciting. Really happy to have you here.
Thank
And
you.
so Karen, tell us like first like where were you before we started working together, like sharing like how long you were divorced for or single and what was your experience in dating online and all that.
Okay, sure, yeah. So I was divorced 12 years and I had my share of, online drama to say the least. And I think I've gotten to the point now where I could spot a scammer, at give me 5 minutes, I'll tell you if he's going to scam you or not. Um,
Yeah, I know.
Unfortunately,
I've had those too.
right? Yeah. And so I was just feeling pretty like hopeless, I guess. Like, well, I don't think it's in the cards for me. And I think I'm just destined to be single. And, so be it. For whatever reason, I'm not sure why, but I had a couple relationships in those 12 years, but they weren't giving me what I wanted. I don't think it was as mutual, obviously, as I wanted, but I kind of hung in there, and I really should not have, because I think after taking your class, Kim, and working with you, I realized, that I really did deserve better. I deserved someone who was going to love me and respect me and, and feel mutually the same way I did. So, it only took me 12 years to get there. And as I told him the other day, I said, it only took me 65 years to find you. So, hey, you know,
Yeah, so and it's pretty exciting because Karen, like Karen was saying, she has been divorced for 12 years. She's been online. She's been in a couple of relationships. I think you were sharing with me like one, it seemed like they, wanted your money and, weren't treating you the way that you wanted to be treated as a woman.
right.
And so, you ended up getting on one of my webinars and we had a call together. And I remember you were, kind of a little skeptical because you're like, I don't know if it's in the cards for me. And
Mhm.
what do you think finally you were just like, you know what, I'm going to give it a try. What the heck?
Well, I think I had reached a point because I had been following you for a while, and I'd get your emails and I would read them, etc. I'm like, well, I wonder. And I guess it had really just been in the back of my mind for a while. And I finally had just reached a point, and I think that night after talking to you, I just thought, you know what? I'm going to go for it. I'm going to make the commitment. I'm going to do.
Uh-oh, you froze. Shoot.
Oh,
Oh,
um,
sorry about that. My internet went
oh,
out
that's
there.
okay. Okay. But I was just saying, I think it made me realize why I had allowed those things to continue based on some of the things that you and I talked about in our sessions and that I then discovered about myself. So, you know, I did. I did finally come to the belief that I am a deserving, radiant goddess of light. And, I deserve to be treated as such.
Yeah, and
And it worked.
that was a big breakthrough, right? To be in that, that was one of the things when we worked together, is that shift of, not being feeling deserving to feeling deserving, and that we created your new identity, the
Exactly.
deserving radiant goddess of light. And
Exactly. Yeah.
um and you really took that on. uh and what else what do you think helped you and us working together, like maybe the couple things that helped a lot?
Well, definitely, definitely, going back and looking at reasons why I uh, accepted certain things. And then also, I think the realization that the things we were talking about applied to other areas of my life, like
Mhm.
my relationship with my son and work and just even my relationship with friends. And
Mm.
it's really just in how I put myself out there. I really do feel, I'm happy with myself. I mean, yeah, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not perfect, but I am kinder to myself now. And I am working on some other things, like with weight, right? Aren't we all always trying to lose weight? But right. But I feel better about that because I have done it. It's not extreme, but I feel happy about that. And it's just made me realize, that I really am deserving of that. And I think once it was funny when we got back online after I'd finished or we got to that part. And some of the things, if people were saying some crazy stuff, I'd be like, yeah, okay, well, I don't think so, but have a nice life. Bye bye. I, I didn't want to go down that road again. I just did not want to go down that road again.
Yeah.
So it made me set the bar. I set the bar. And as you said, there were boxes I was checking off as I was, talking to these men. And if they didn't meet, at least five of my boxes, and it was like, well, I don't think so.
Yeah, they had to meet all there was no settling. You had to meet they had to meet all the boxes that you created inside of, and then we created an intention of what you wanted in a relationship and what you wanted in a man. And
Exactly.
there was no settling. And yeah,
Right.
so I think, how many you probably went out on, like, four men, and then you met
Yes.
Bruce.
And then I met Bruce and yeah. And the first time we met and actually the first time we talked on the phone and the first time we met, he was a real chatterbox. And I remember I was talking to you and I said, I don't know, man, this guy, I don't know if I can get a word in edgewise. And then the third time we met and went out, um, he was more relaxed, not as chatty. And I remember, I can't remember exactly what he said, but I actually saw this side of him, this like sense of humor that came out. And I was like, oh, okay, well, this has potential. I like that, because I used to kid him. I'm like, man, I thought you were like some stuffy, I don't know, professor type or whatever, because he's got the little mustache and the glasses and all that going on. And I guess in my brain, I just kind of went there. But once I got past that and I saw that side of him, and he's funny, he's so funny. Um, and a little like me, he's a little sarcastic. And so that's where we really just kind of click because we both see that side of a lot of things, which is great. So yeah. Yeah, it
And
was great.
and the big kicker is, well, you've been dating for about 2 months now, I
Actually,
think.
like three and a half.
Three, yeah, three,
Yeah.
because that's,
Mhm.
because we worked together for 3 months, and you met him, um, well, we ended up working, I think, together 4 months because there was a little bit of lag because of vacation and stuff. But
Right.
you
Right.
ended up meeting him within 4 months and working together. And the big thing, how does he treat you?
You know, he treats me like a queen. He does.
That's what-
I mean, I just, the first time I was over there and we had I spent the night and we got up the next morning and we were sitting there talking and he's like, "Do you want some coffee?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that sounds good. I'll go get." He goes, "No, no." He says, "You sit right still. I will get your coffee." He said, "You work all week." And he said, you just sit right there."
Mm.
And I was like, "Oh my gosh, what is that?" And then he cooked breakfast for me. Um,
Oh,
and he's so, I don't know, he's just so caring and he remembers things that I tell him. Um, he, I don't know, he's just so sweet and he definitely checks all my boxes. I've never had a man really treat me like this before, and it's just so sweet. And he's very he always wants to hold my hand. He opens the car door for me. I'm like, oh my
oh,
God.
oh,
I mean, I've had that happen before, but with him, it's like every time, and that's one of the things I got from you, Kim, is, I don't just go like, "Oh, I can open my own door." I'm like, "Well, thank you, honey. I really appreciate that." And and he does it. He loves it. He loves when I compliment him and thank him. And, it's wonderful. It's just wonderful. I mean, he's just so, I don't know. I just can't say enough. I'm sure we'll have our issues at some point, but I think the fact that we can talk about pretty much anything, we'll be able to talk through it, you know?
yeah. And
Yeah.
that, I think, well, first, learning how to receive in your feminine is
Yes.
so important, because men, they love doing that, a healthy man. And
Mhm.
learning communication skills. Um,
Yes.
just, I know we talked about that, and with Bruce, and then, across the board with your son, how that
Mhm.
has helped too, the communication skills that you learned.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think of you every time I tell him how much I appreciate him. I'm like, Kim would be so proud of me.
Yeah, I mean, and you took it on. I mean, you know, you did everything that I guided you to do, and you just, even, I'm sure there was times you were like, "What is, what is she saying
Right?
here?"
Why am
Or
I doing
you're,
this?
"Why is she making me doing this?"
Right,
But
right.
you just, you really just took it on, and you just had this faith and courage and just trust that, okay, I'm
Yes.
gonna I'm gonna follow. And then to just go from 12 years of divorce and not meeting the right man to meeting the love of your life, and he
Mhm.
feels the same way about you. It's just like, life is amazing, right? It's just,
It is. It
yeah,
is. It is
you're having
amazing.
so
It
much
is.
fun and
Yeah.
feeling cherished and loved and honored, like you deserve to be treated from
Yes,
a
exactly.
special man.
Exactly. Yeah, it's been great. It's been great. And I just want to thank you for, your program and working with you. And I felt um I don't know. uh, It was kind of like a therapy. Well, it was a therapy.
Mm.
And it was a whole learning cycle. And it really does make a difference because I did the work and I learned a lot of things about myself, and it made me realize that, you know what, I am worth it. I am worth it. I have these little flaws, don't we all? But I am worth it. I am worth having a man like that in my life. And you know what? I got one.
You do. And yeah, it's that about that self-love, it
Yeah.
really that I think embodies it all, that self-love and self-worth and
Hmm.
um so I know. I mean, like you send me emails and telling me how you're dancing in on one of your dates and how you're having the time of your life. And I'm just, my heart singing and I'm
Oh,
feeling so happy for you. And so Karen, what would you say if, somebody is kind of like maybe on the fence, they're thinking about, God, maybe I might want to get some help um, or maybe they might have some doubts if it would work out for them. What do you think you would say to someone that was like you, that was kind of on the
yeah.
fence at first?
I mean, I would say, if you're at that point where you're really serious and you really are ready, because I think you really have to be ready mentally, then take the class, take the course, because it really does teach you a lot. And I think in today's world, we as women, we're supposed to be everything. We work, we're mothers, we're wives, we're lovers, we're this, da, 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 da. But nobody really tells you sometimes how you're supposed to act when, sometimes you just go out and do things. You do what you think you're supposed to do, but nobody tells you really how to act. And the thing I got out of your course the most, Kim, is really understanding how men perceive women and what they like, and that they like to be appreciated. I mean, and you'd think that might be common sense, but because we're supposed to be these strong females, it doesn't mean I'm still not strong. I just know how to express my appreciation now, thanks to you. And so I would say, you know, we're not taught this stuff. It doesn't come with a manual, but Kim, you were great too. And I think you said this, right? Nobody teaches us how to have relationships. We kind of stumble into them. And so this course really does teach you how to think about yourself and to communicate and to put your expectations out there and make sure that that's what you're getting. So I would say, go for it. I mean, go for it.
Yeah.
Absolutely worth it. It's absolutely worth it. Yeah.
Well,
So,
thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for, sharing your story and being inspiring, inspiring other women, that they too can find love even after being single for a long time. It's the
A
same
long
for
time.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I was single for almost 15 years
Yeah.
until I started learning these principles and ended up finding my special guy. So yeah, thank you so much. So really appreciate sharing your story and everything. So
Well, and thank you, Kim. I mean, I won't go on, but I really appreciate you and what you've taught me. And it's made a difference in my life, and you're a great person. And I've enjoyed working with you.
mm.
And if anybody, like I said, is on the fence, do it, because Kim's great. She's great. So yeah,
Oh, thank you, Karen. I'm ready to start being in tears. um, well,
it's
thank
true.
you.
It's true. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Well, thanks again, Karen.
okay. It's been a pleasure.
She said, well, pleasure's been mine. It's been
Oh, well,
amazing.
thank you. Thank you.